We tried the Samsung Galaxy S25 series and we're going to talk all about it in this video, so let's dive right into it. Let's start off with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra because this phone received a bit of a more upgrade as compared to the other two. Now starting with the first one, obviously the design change is that the phone is now all flat on all the sides, making it a flatter and nicer phone to hold. Because I prefer the flatter finish because it's easier to hold, easier to grip, and you will have the confidence to hold it in your hand with no issues whatsoever. That's how great the phone is. Number two is that the display gets a 0.1 inch increase, making it a 6.9 inch display, and the screen to body ratio is absolutely high this time around, making it a very immersive display and also a bit of a concerning display if you were to break it. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. And on the front you get the Corning Gorilla Glass Armor 2, and on the back you get the Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which means you're going to get a low reflection coating on the front, making it easier to use on harsh lighting conditions. As for the processor, this year we get the Snapdragon 8 Elite and we get a 40% increase in the vapor chamber cooling, which is a good thing because the processor is really hot, but how it really holds up is something that we can only find out when we are testing the device. And on the camera department, there's only one improvement, which is the new 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor as opposed to the 12 megapixel sensor which we saw with the S24 Ultra. And finally, yes, the S Pen gets axed with the Bluetooth feature, so which means this phone is going to have just the basic S Pen feature, and for those who wanted that Bluetooth feature, well, I think it's time to say sayonara. And the only way you can get that feature for the last time is by opting in for the S24 Ultra. And good thing is that you can still get that phone because you're still going to get 6 years worth of update and it's just 1 year down. Software wise, we're going to get the same experience with all the phones, so I'm going to save it for the last. Now let's dive into the S25 and S25 Plus, and these two phones got the least amount of upgrades this year, and there's only two upgrades worth noting. First is, yes, the S25 and the S25 Plus gets the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which means goodbye to Exynos for most of you users. You're going to be so happy hearing this. And the second one is for those who are opting in for the smaller S25, 8 GB is no longer an option for the RAM because now you get 12 gigs of RAM instead, and that's a good upgrade in the right direction. As for the rest, the battery, the camera, the battery charging speeds, the display, you're going to be pretty much the same because it's exactly identical to last year's model. Now, one of the biggest changes, especially in the S25 lineup, happens to be the software because they put in almost 80 to 90% in making the software unique in a sense, but more specifically personalized to each and every single user. Now, speaking of that, Samsung's goal this year with One UI 7 is to give more human-like feature, which is why you're going to find a lot of features that's catered personally to each and every single user. Like the Now Brief, for instance, which is going to bring you the morning brief and evening brief to give you a gist of what has happened, news and all that type of stuff, which we already see in Google Assistant routine. So now we get it in One UI. The Now bar at the bottom, which gives you this fast access to quick stuff, glance and notification at the bottom like music, direction, recording and all that, but we have no support for third-party app at the moment. And then you get like personal data engine where it collects all this personal data from how you use your gallery and every single Samsung app. But don't worry, that data is actually stored under Samsung Knox, so you don't have to worry about your data getting leaked and all that. But that aside, this is basically the experience that they're trying to do with the S25, which is tailoring a personalized experience for each and every single user. Now, honestly speaking, these are experiences that we need to experience it to be able to tell how good it is and all that, which is why we're going to be reviewing the S25 Ultra. And if you have any questions about that phone, or if you have any questions about the software, please let us know down in the comment section below. And honestly speaking, let me give you my honest thoughts about these three phones, and if you're coming from the S24 series, there's no reason for you to upgrade because there is a good chance you're going to get most of these features available on the S24 through an update, because One UI 7 requires NPU to do all of these features, and there's a good chance that you're going to experience this on the S24 series because it already has an NPU. Now, S23 users, you may have a smaller NPU, you may not get all the features, but the ones that relies on cloud AI, those features you probably will be getting it very, very soon. Other than that, I think this phone is as good as an iPhone because the graph has plateaued and there's no hardware improvements, and we are finally entering the age of software. We have a lot to say about these phones, but we are going to save it for our review. So stay tuned for that. If you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe to our channel, because it's going to be a lot, right? And I'll see you guys in that content. Until then, this is Prithviraj signing off. Take care, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.